My name is Tom Carpenter. I'm the CTO at CWNP, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting technical issue that we need to understand with modern wireless networks. Now, here's the thing. Lee Badman wrote an excellent article on mGig for searchnetworking.com. And you can find the article there, and I've also shared it on Twitter for you to be able to find it there. If you don't follow me, you can follow me. I'm at Carpenter Tom on Twitter. Well, here's the thing. The article is all about multi-gigabit uplinks from APs to the wired network, and the question of whether we need them yet or not. Now, none of us disagree with an eventual future where it's an actual requirement for pretty much every wireless network. But the question is, are we there yet? Well, let's talk through this issue to understand it. First of all, in order to require more than 1 gigabits per second in the uplink from the AP, you need to be getting more than that to the AP on the wireless side. So let's talk a little bit about what it really means to send data on the wireless link. First of all, even if we take Wave 2 802.11ac APs with 4 spatial streams, there's a max data rate there of 1.7 gigabits per second, or 1,733.3 megabits per second to be exact. And that's on an 80 megahertz channel. I'm not even going to talk about 160 megahertz channels. We're never using them in the current enterprise deployments. We'd have to have a lot more bandwidth to do that. And we're not likely to use even 80 megahertz in most enterprise deployments. But we'll use that for sake of discussion. Now, to achieve that maximum data rate of 1,733.3 megabits per second, or 1.7 gigabits per second roughly, you're going to need a signal strength of around neg 56 to neg 58 dBm. It's going to depend on the receive sensitivity of the device to be able to receive data at that rate and be able to demodulate it appropriately. Now, if your cell edge is designed for neg 67 dBm, that's at the edge, some max rate capable clients will be all the way down already to 1,170 megabits per second. So a loss of about a third, not quite, but about a third of the actual data rate, just because they're at the edge of the cell. So there's that. Now, that's the absolute best where all of the clients are 4-stream 802.11ac clients. Let me see. How many 802.11ac 4-stream capable clients do I use on a regular basis myself as a total Wi-Fi geek? The answer? Absolutely none. I don't have any 4-stream capable clients that I use on a regular basis myself. None of my phones, none of my tablets, none of my laptops, no specialty devices, nothing that I own or really use is a 4-stream capable client device. I'm not denying that someone could be using one. I'm simply saying I'm not. Now, there's a new factor in the equation then. Clients usually constrain the link capabilities because we tend to implement newer APs. Now, that's not always the case. You may still have an 802.11n wireless infrastructure, and you've got 11ac clients that are connecting to it. In that case, the AP is constraining the link. But if we go out and buy the latest and greatest APs, then the client's usually going to constrain the link because the 802.11 newest APs are going to be Wave 2 today and eventually 802.11ax. But the clients are going to constrain the link. And it's not just about how new is that client. It's not just about did I buy it yesterday or did I buy it last week. It's what can that client do? Here's the simple truth. The average client in many networks is a 2-stream client, not a 3-stream, and certainly not a 4-stream client. And it's an 802.11n client in many cases, not even 802.11ac. So, but even with that, let's say the average client is a 2-stream 802.11ac device. Then the max data rate just dropped significantly. The max data rate is now 866.7 megabits per second. That's right. You've fallen under a gigabit for the data rate, and there's more. We'll get to that. Now, given the cell edge of neg 67 dBm, those edge stations have a data rate of 650 megabits per second or less, depending on their receive sensitivity. So you're beginning to get the picture of reality for what really happens in a wireless network. Now, Factor in a very conservative estimate of 20% wireless link overhead for typical frame exchange management, RTS, CTS, acknowledgements, block requests, block acknowledgements, etc. So all of these extra overhead things. And even if we go ahead and grant the 866.7 megabits per second data rate, and you're at an average data rate then of 693.36 megabits per second, which is way higher than most realities in wireless LANs and way under the 1 gigabits per second uplink. Now, that's not even the end of the story. There are additional factors. We haven't even talked yet about co-channel interference and how that I have to delay my transmission on the wireless link side because I'm waiting for some other BSS that's currently talking within the channel. That's co-channel interference. We haven't even addressed the number of SSIDs. Am I running 5 or 6 SSIDs from my AP? Then that time has to be consumed on the air to transmit a beacon frame for each one of those SSIDs at whatever beacon interval is configured. And then you've got retransmitted frames due to corruption from non-Wi-Fi sources or adjacent channel interference or what have you. So we've got to retransmit, or because of mobile clients that are shifting and they need to change the data rate, they can't get a frame through. You get the picture. There are many, many factors that are going to drag it down far lower than that 693.36 megabits per second in most networks. Now, to be fair, you might have 2 radios in your AP, and you might even have them both as 5 gigahertz 802.11ac radios. But even still, you're not going to exceed 500 to 700 megabits per second on the vast majority of even those APs. That's just the real world. And to get all these rates we've talked about, by the way, you better have a very well-designed wireless LAN. So make sure you hire a certified professional. But seriously, this is the big picture of everything involved in, do I need a 2.5 or a 5 or a 10 gigabits per second uplink on the backside of my AP? The answer for the vast majority of wireless networks today and moving into the next probably 2 to 4 years is no. Is it going to change significantly with 802.11ax? Not for a while, because you have to have AX clients. And even if you went in next year and gutted out all of your 11N and 11AC APs and put in 11AX clients, it's going to be another year or 2 or 3 after that before you have a significant number of 802.11ax clients. Remember, we've got a cycle of upgrade, right? We don't go around to our laptops and just upgrade the mini PCI Express or whatever kind of Wi-Fi adapter is in it to get the latest and greatest Wi-Fi. We wait till we replace the laptop. So if you've just bought some laptops in the last year, you're probably not going to replace them for 3 to 4 years or more. And if you buy some this year, you won't replace those until 3 to 4 years or 5 from now. So the reality is those devices are going to stay around till they're at the end of their life cycle. Mobile phones, usually 1.5 to 3 years, somewhere in that life cycle. Tablet type devices, usually about the same as a laptop, somewhere between 2.5 or 3 and 5 years. So these devices are going to linger around and only upgrade to support 11AX as they are needed. Now, I'm not going to get into all the complexities today of, well, Tom, what about that one client that could do it? And we can get that client on and off the air very quick to free up more airtime for other clients. Yes, you're going to get some incremental gains because of that. But in most cases, you're not going to see such a significant amount of data coming across the wireless link to the AP and buffered that the 1 gigabit per second uplink cannot handle it, or that your user would have any perceptible difference. And remember, user perception is the primary thing. Do they perceive it as a well-performing wireless network? And for today, 1 gigabits per second uplink in almost every case is going to give you that perception and exceptional performance for your wireless networks. Are there some exceptions to this? Yes, there absolutely are exceptions to this, but they are the extremely rare exception. So as you're looking at this and asking, can I upgrade to 802.11ac without gutting out all of my gigabit per second drops and putting in 2.5 or 5 gigabits per second drops? The answer for the vast majority of networks is absolutely yes, you can. Like the little train, was it? Anyway, that's the bigger picture of multi-gigabit data links on the backside of the AP and the reality of data rates on the wired side of the AP or the wireless side of the AP. And I didn't even get into all of the details of the real complexity of multiple clients. So right now you're going to have maybe even 11G or A client. I hope not too many of those, but 11N clients certainly, 11AC clients, 1 stream, 2 stream, 3 stream, 20 megahertz channels and 40 megahertz channels, not 80 megahertz, which is what I used in this use case example. So in your real world networks, don't be alarmed by the illusion of a requirement of upgrading your uplinks on your APs. For most of us, it's not a huge issue yet today. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe below and know that you can follow us on Twitter at CWNP and at Carpenter Tom, and always find that information there. Of course, here on CWNP TV, the YouTube channel for CWNP, you'll find the archives of the Wireless LAN News Desk as well as the webinars that we do on a monthly basis. If you've never joined us for one, check out our website at cwnp.com and make sure you sign up for the next upcoming webinar. There's always some good, more in-depth information that we have the time to share there. Thanks again for viewing, and I'll see you next week.